hello. Yes, but anyways, we went to this this place to get our fill of drinky drink. The blood drinky drink. And it was this whole strange situation where there was this woman that greeted us, and then there was a child, although they claimed they were over 18. But boy, it was weird. Definitely not some like questionable shit going on there. Very strange. Hello, Nest of the Raven. Welcome, welcome. They don't always have to be kittens. Yeah, true. I don't know. Little goblin always sleeps through the night. Oh, and we're going to Bouchard. Right. Forgot about that. I should probably switch my laundry into the dryer. Give me 1 second. I'll do that really fast. I'll be right back. I'm trying to see if I like have enough time before D&D. I should. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Hello. I'm back. The alleyway used to access Bouchard's area of the sewers seems almost unnaturally quiet. What are you doing? Thank you, Mr. Raven. I'm too weak. It's my mod privilege. The air is still and unnerving. You kneel down and ready yourself to open the manhole cover when you hear a footstep several feet away behind a dumpster. Just one little clink. Slowly standing up again. You scan the area for observers, listening keenly for the slightest sound. Had you been mistaken? Now there it is again, this time at the other end of the alley. You race to the spot, but no one's there. Did Bibby find staple? I did find the staple on the floor. I put it in my computer drawer. That rhymed. Didn't mean for it to. God damn it. Fortunately, your clan possesses the gift of seeing the unseen. You channel your vitae, and the darkness comes into sharper focus. Still nothing. You peek your head out from the alleyway and finally get a glimpse of your silent observer as her cloak of shadow is peeled away by your true sight, revealing the black of a dark gray blazer as she dashes away down the street. Her jet black hair bobs as she runs, held back by a silver pin that glints in the moonlight. Once she realizes that you've seen her, she checks the street for civilians and then tears down the sidewalk in a manic blur before jumping onto an awning, using it as a springboard to propel herself up onto the rooftops as if she weighed nothing at all. It happens in a matter of seconds, and by the time you think to give chase, she could be anywhere. You're sure of it, though. The woman watching you is the same Banu Hakim who accompanied Ward the night Hauberk held you at gunpoint. But why would Sevink be spying on you now? Will Ward ever stop keeping tabs on your comings and goings? I got an achievement for this. I guess I never caught this woman before. To be fair, I just, told Ward to go fuck himself the first time I played this game, and only got the key storyline, nothing else at all. You open the manhole to Bouchard's... You open the manhole? Not in my audios. To Bouchard's region of the sewers and descend into the dark crawl space beneath the city, replacing the cover as you go. I know, I'm sad we missed Key too. Oh well. Just a reason for you guys to play the game on your own if you want. The rungs of the ladder have been worn clean by the hands of too many kindred. A month or two from now, the sewer rats will have to replace it with something more appropriately dingy to cover their tracks. The last thing the Nosferatu need is for these areas to give the appearance of frequent travel. You follow the cramped passageway down several twists and turns, avoiding the muck as best as you can until you hear the sound of muted voices echoing lightly off the curved brick walls up ahead. Unsurprisingly, Key and Bouchard are in the middle of an argument. What's up? What's going on? What's that little face for? What? Don't whack my skull. What was that for? What is going on? Do you want to get tucked in? Is that this fussing? Yeah? Maybe? Yeah? All right. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Stop. Stay still, you little rat. Oh my god, you are so fucking fussy. Oh, you too, huh? Yeah? Dad, you chucked him in. Dad. Okay. Now I want to be tucked in. We can't... Oh, man. Why... they must know. Maybe it's because I start talking or something, but they must know when I'm streaming because they were literally... Every time I do stream, they've been asleep for the whole day until I start streaming, and then suddenly they're both very active. I bet it is because I start talking. Oh well. We can't give the usurpers time to prepare, Michael. Key says. We hit them hard from the south with overwhelming force. Make them flee. I have mercs set up by all the exits to the north, ready to take them down as they run. They'll have no time for rituals or counterattacks. You should talk to yourself more. Thankfully, they've gotten a bit better about doing it when I'm, like, recording audios. Maybe that's because they can't find me, because I'm in my little booth. And as a schedule they're catching on to. That's true. That's true. Same time, 2 times a week. Cats have a pretty good... Most animals, to be fair, have a pretty good internal clock. Bouchard's growl reverberates through the sewer as you near the gathering. It's not wise, he gurgles. Last time we all knew. They were seen in Quebec. I almost said Quebec again. Spelled like Q. Quebec. Should be Qua. How would you spell Qua? Q-U-H. Q-U-H-B-E-K. They were seen in Quebec. I don't even know why they're here. I want to be tucked in too. Small babies, no object permanence. To be fair, one time I did feel something and I looked down, just saw one of them sitting between my legs staring up at me. Didn't make a noise, just sat there staring, like waiting. Other times they will waddle around the living room just like meowing, hoping for me to poke my head out. And other times they will hear me, look around, and then go back to bed. It's kind of hit or miss. We slaughter them all without knowing why. Prince Annabelle will crush me in retaliation. It's my domain. I have a right to decide how they're dealt with. Oh. Fade groans. They don't have to raise their voices like that. They already have big enough egos to fill a room. Your rights end where my duties as sheriff begin, Michael. Key says. You're almost there now, and you can hear the conversation as clearly as if you were right beside them. Annabelle has always been reasonable. If she didn't go on the offensive when the Arundel brought in the Banu Hakim, then she won't when we punish the warlocks for attacking the Primogen and violating the traditions. Quebec isn't exclusively Tremere. She has her other worries to concern her. Ottawa is not the center of her world. Your scream, really? Oh, kitties. It's the center of mine. And how do you know that this isn't part of a retaliation already? The most successful kindred move slowly. Do they? Do they really? I feel like they move quickly, right? Let me send in my scouts. We'll take the Tremere with minimal force and question them. If you don't like their answers, you can stake them out for the sun for all I care.
Beach. Hi.
Hi, little man.
Hi. 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 I'm gonna step on your keyboard again. Please don't. Please don't. Then I want to whack my brother.
Oh, don't get on top of my PC, dude.
Hello?
Him do a heckin' step. I know, I found out my computer has a reset button. I didn't even know it did until he pressed it. But I have them both covered up by a little Bluetooth speaker that's kind of long enough. And they're like flush with the case, so it's not like they stand out. So I think if he steps on the Bluetooth speaker, he won't actually push the buttons, but there's really only one way to find out. We'll see. Camera shakes as the criminal mounts the PC, it's true. Some will survive either way, Key says. We'll still be able to question. You round the corner into the intersection that joins 3 branches of the sewer system with Bouchard's lair. Several kindred and their mortal mercenaries are gathered behind either the sheriff or Bouchard in roughly equal numbers. Kashif stands behind Key, a scowl creasing his face. He's traded his traditional robes for a more practical beige ensemble, a hooked sword attached to his belt, next to a small leather pouch. Opposite him, Jordan stands, not far behind Bouchard. Silas, Key says. That's good. Now we only have to wait on Luca. Do you want to get tucked in too? Or are you just going to whack him?
I'm just gonna whack him.
Oh, what silly little kitties. As if summoned, Luca appears from the tunnel to your left. She's decked out in her finest dark leather. Fine brown hair pulled back in a ponytail, and then we banged. All business as usual. It's hard to miss the Glock G45 strapped to her belt. The handgun looks awkward on her, and you doubt she's had much time to practice with it, but at least she listened to your advice and armed herself. She seems inclined to move closer to you and take comfort in your presence, but she keeps herself a professional distance. There's no knowing what your allies would think of such a budding relationship, especially when you haven't defined anything yourselves. I'm gay. Listen, I can't help myself. Totally off-brand. Best not to give the other kindred leverage to use against you unless there's a very solid reason. Nevertheless, you flash her a quick smile that could be read any number of ways. She returns it. Finally, Bouchard grunts. We're ready. I like this first one. I could hear you arguing all the way down that branch of the sewer. We won't have to worry about surprising the Tremere if they overhear you discussing your plans of attack. It's true. Wyvern. Oh dear. Has anyone thought to ask Primogen Lang about this? He's the only Tremere officially staying in here. Yeah, maybe. I think Key is right. If we show weakness and they violate the traditions and assault our Primogen, we might as well just hand them Ottawa now. Yeah. I think Bouchard is right. The situation is delicate. Perhaps a compromise is in order. Bouchard send in his scouts cloaked in the shadows. If they can pull one or two Tremere, we can question them without launching the attack. I'm tempted to go with the first. Yeah, I love the sass as well. Hello. Hello, little man. Ow! Oh, fuck! I tried petting him and he saw my hand and used it as a little stepping ladder to get off. Ouch. Where are your little sparkly balls, dude? Oh well, I'll try not to get so distracted by the cats. The real Mission Impossible. I am really tempted to go with the first one, but maybe the last one? I'm not sure. Why not? Why not be sassy? Oh, they probably both won't like that. YOLO, Sassam I did. Key and Bouchard stare at each other grimly, as if each of them feel the other is to blame. Oops. Truth is power, Fade says, with a sharp nod in your direction. Silas is right, Kashif says, and we're wasting time by arguing. This doesn't concern you. Bouchard grunts. Kashif glares at the Nosferatu. Tremere hiding in the sewers attacking local kindred concerned me greatly on a personal level, as you well know. Did that make them dislike me more? I can't tell. Maybe by like 1%. So then it gives us all of the same options, actually. So maybe that didn't accomplish much. All those grunts, Bouchard. He does grunt a lot. Has anyone thought to ask Primogen Lang? Don't care. Don't care much at all. No, sorry, can't be bothered. Key is right, Bouchard is right, a compromise. We get two choices for the price of one. Yeah. I'm tempted to go with Key. Lang. Compromises for loser. It's true. Yeah. I'm tempted to go with Key. Just because I think it's right. Like, these vampires literally assaulted someone and tried to kill them. And if they're hanging out here, they're breaking the masquerade. And the masquerade is kind of like number one. So fuck it, right? Fuck it. Sorry, Bouchard, I think you're wrong. I understand this is your home and you don't want to get attacked in retaliation, but the rules are there for a reason. And this isn't one of those cases where it's like the rules were meant to be broken. No, no, no. The rules are there for a reason. These guys broke the fucking rules. Exactly, Key says. We should all respect the importance of the traditions. Exactly, Key. The Tremere knew what they were doing when they hid down here without presenting themselves to the court. Now they'll pay the price. Bouchard rolls his eyes. As if I care what a neonate has to say on the matter. No more arguing, Key says. We're moving out. I'll make sure sufficient numbers survive, so you can question them, Michael. Does that satisfy you? It will have to. The Nosferatu snarks. You better watch yourself, Sheriff. Strange things happen down here in the depths. People go missing all the time. Key chooses to ignore the thinly veiled threat. Let's move out, people. Me when I was a hall monitor inviting. The rules are there for a reason. Oh dear. Did that make Bouchard like me a little less? Nope. But it did bring Key up by 2%. No, wait. Key up by 3%. Nice. What's going on, fussy cat? What's going on? What's going on? Fuss. You gonna chill out? You never really sit on my lap. Unless I'm in bed trying to sleep. He's so small. Actually, this one's quite big. Hello, fussy cat. The other guy's a very tiny little guy. No, please, please don't. Don't listen to the meanie. Oh, dear. Hi. Hi, Dad. I'm actually gonna go back up on your pooter. No, please don't. Please don't. Whoa! The hunting party travels north through the twists and turns of Bouchard's underground domain. Hello, Casey. And before long, you are completely and utterly lost. The dark, grime-covered brick of the main channel is met at regular intervals by newer concrete pipes of varying size, and from time to time, the larger passage branches to the left or right in 3- or 4-way intersections. Mouse! Don't meow at me. You trudge forward for what feels like at least half an hour, resolutely ignoring the upward wafting stench as 24 pairs of feet stir the mixed-up waste products best kept from your imagination. Damn, Fade says, as he picks his way around a rotting mound of decay. Can you imagine working down here? I'm just saying, the Tremere must want something in the sewer badly to put up with the mortal filth plunging up all the pipes. We don't have to breathe, right? So we don't have to smell this literal shit? Hello, hello, Shay. Welcome, welcome. Soothed to sleep in his lap. You fight the urge to tell him that he could simply phase past the garbage rather than walk through it. But misery loves company, and so you decide to keep your suggestions to yourself. I love that phrase. Misery loves company. Hello, hello. I'm back for more attention. Butch, 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 boop. Mouse, mouse, mouse. Mouse, 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 mouse. Mouse, 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 mouse. Hello. Mouse, 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 mouse. Show mouse. I will in a little bit. Mouse, mouse, mouse. Can you say hi? Just really quick. Just really quick. Really quick. Hello. There you go. Dad, I didn't like that. From the front of the hunting party, Key holds up a warning hand. We're almost under Parliament Hill. He whispers to Bouchard. You said that's where your associates found them. Bouchard nods. You're gonna... Please, mouse, don't step on the keyboard. Skin chicken, naked chimpkin. Hi. You gonna go back up on my computer? Well, too bad, mouse. Yeah. Hello. Oh. Bunny demanded. Oh, dear. Oh, cats. I should get mouse a keyboard that I'll step on. Would he? He always, like... I don't know, I think it's the fact that I use this keyboard that he wants me to stop touching it. Bouchard nods. I think that's where I still think we should send my scouts ahead, he says stubbornly. Key ignores him and quietly gives orders for his mortal mercenaries to fan out into a wedge with the kindred directly behind them. When we encounter the enemy, he says, Martinez and Jones will throw their incendiaries while the rest of you open fire. If they come for us or stand their ground after the initial volley, fall off to the side of the tunnel, and then let us through while providing cover fire as we charge, understood? The mercenaries nod and grip their rifle in sling-ready position as they get into formation. Luca moves up near the front, cracking her knuckles loudly as she waits to get moving. Behind you, Jordan falls back to the rest of the party. Trying to convince Bunny to cuddle. Cute little Halloween. Oh, these guys do not like wearing anything. I have a few little, like, kitty sweaters for them to wear. I used to put them on every time I would go to the gym, and they would always be off or, like, half off by the time I would come home. I think they just don't like the feeling of them. I can't raise my fucking hands. Oh, dear. Position myself up front, directly behind the mercenaries. Freaking the first takedown enemies. Sure to earn me clout with the sheriff and my sire, but I don't care about either of those things. I stay to the back, behind them. I'm ready to fight if necessary, but direct confrontation is not my forte. Resolve. What are our stats? I forgot. We got maxed out dex. That's good. Okay. Very good intelligence. Mediocre wits and resolve. All right. You okay? I get in the front. I'm not interested in impressing anyone or making a name for myself. I just want to get the battle started and kill my enemies. That sounds the most unhinged. Where's Peter? What? Oh, do you mean Key? I'm tempted to do that. And our resolve is all right. Our auspex is okay too. Everyone's thinking about facing the enemy head on, but we're in a winding sewer system. I keep to the rear, ready to take down any Tremere who try flanking an attack. Let's go front, right? Front and center. Why not? Why not? Be unhinged. Live your life. Die fast. The sheriff claps you on the back appreciatively as you move up to stand beside him on the front lines. Stay 10 feet back from the mercs, he says. The Tremere may have trapped the area closest to their hideout. Watch the floor and walls for patterns of dry blood. He steps away from you to raise his voice and address the hunters. Let's move out, people. There's something unusual about the quiet surrounding your group of heavily armed mortals and vampires roaming through the tunnels. No rhythmic splashing as heavy boots tread through muck and puddles of filth. No grunts of breath or clatter of buckles and ammo pouches. Sounds from further down the tunnel ring out with clarity. The babbling of small waterfall between pipes. The war squeak of 2 rats fighting somewhere in the walls. But no one in your party is making a sound. It takes several minutes before you puzzle out what's causing it. Kashif. The closer the vizier gets to you, the heavier the silence. Like your ears have been clogged with cotton. Maybe Rindo was onto something when he sought an alliance with the Banu Hakim. The party rounds a particularly tight bend in the tunnel, forcing the mercenaries to bunch up in front while you and Luca fall back beside Key. The mortals seem nervous, shifting uncomfortably and shivering from a chill your dead skin can't quite feel. Their movements grow sluggish as their eyes dart this way and that, trying to pierce the shadows which could be hiding unseen phantoms. Say filth again. I also have mediocre resolve. Oh dear. And post set and disgusting. Oh dear. Something's wrong here, Silas, Fade says. Keep your eyes open. You see the ward just before you could step down on it. Dried blood etched into arcane runes and symbols on the floor, and you shoot out your arm to hold back Key before it's too late. The sheriff nearly pushes through, but he thinks better of it, and waves for a halt. What is it, Silas? He mouths. You can't hear him through Kashif's sound barrier, but it's easy enough to point down at the ward in front of your feet. Key signals to Kashif, and suddenly you can hear again. Ahead of you, one of the mercenaries is standing in the middle of the ward, perfectly unharmed. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe they never had the chance to finish it. Doubtful. The wards could be targeted. We won't know how until someone trips it. Likely, we should go back around. This is obviously a trap. Also likely. I'll go with the middle one. It's likely. Exact, like I said, likely. All of his audios are fake. Key says, or they just didn't have time to finish it. Unlikely. I don't believe it. He points down at a portion of the same rune near your right foot where the etching is brighter red. They were working on this recently. Hasn't had time to finish drying. Kashif shoves his way up to the front of the group. If I may, the Vizier says, I'd like a moment to study these wards. It may be possible to scatter their energy and allow a safe passage, or at least determine what entities they target without getting anyone killed. Key frowns and cranes his head to look further down the tunnel. How long? I don't know, Kashif says. Several minutes for the analysis at the very least. Likely long... Stop where you are! A rough voice calls out. Back the way you came. All heads turn towards one of the mercenaries assigned to watch the flank as a drably dressed woman rushes in the opposite direction. Oh, that was one of the mercenaries, I see. Before she can escape, Bouchard manifests out of the shadows, blocking her way, muscles bulging as he reaches out and grabs her by the neck to haul her into the air. Before the sewer rat can slam her into the ground, the woman brings a knife to her wrist and slashes deeply, spilling her own blood in a forceful arc, spraying Bouchard's arm. He recoils in agony, skin smoking as the fugitive Tremere attempts to flee to safety. Too late. Key's mercenaries and your vampire allies moved in while Bouchard delayed her, and now there is nowhere left for her to turn. So we got our questionee? Interrogatee? Anyways, to the question. To the pain. Key squats down in front of the prisoner and looks her in the eye until she can't help but drop her gaze down to the concrete floor, eyes lost behind a haze of messy blonde hair. Having been on that side of his stare before, you know just how intimidating it can be. Why did you attack Alicia Gray? The sheriff asks, cutting right to the root of the matter. The prisoner shifts her eyes to you, then back to the floor. We didn't, she says. The Primogen must be mistaken. You can't help noticing that the woman doesn't flat out call Alicia a liar. Why are the Tremere congregating beneath Ottawa without announcing themselves? The traditions are very clear of what is expected of you upon arrival. We're looking for something, the prisoner says. I was told we'd be allowed to be here. I didn't even know it was a secret until the others wouldn't let me out on the street to hunt. Lies, Kashif says, unsheathing his sword. I know her face. She was lurking outside my haven the night before my house was invaded. My assistant has photographic evidence. I demand my right to punish the... Calm the fuck down, Kashif. I demand my right to punish the guilty. Jesus Christ, what? Key holds back the irate Beno Hakim, muscles on his arm bulging as Kashif pushes forward, intent towards his intended victim. Kashif, this isn't helping. We need information. And I demand judgment, the increasingly unhinged Vizier shouts. There are wards painted in blood upon the floors ahead. Why would an innocent party set up a lethal perimeter? If he doesn't shut up, Lucas says, every warlock beneath Ottawa will know we're here. Jordan nods in agreement. Fade frowns. I'm starting to think Kashif is way too much of a liability on the mission, even if he can mask the sound of our advance. The whole thing's too personal. Yet another entitled male. We hate to see it. He is, Exactly, Princess Lydia. I'm glad you got that reference. To the pain. I love that movie. He went from like 0 to 100 really quick. Like really quick. I pull Kashif aside and whisper to him, you'll have your vengeance, but for that, we need information. She could be the key to driving out all the Tremere. Would you rather punish one or all of them? Fair point. This woman is already in our custody, Kashif. You are threatening the success of the mission with your outbursts. Shut the fuck up. Kashif is right. The Tremere have been attacking him for weeks. No, Kashif is not right. I stand back and let Key deal with it? No, let's pull him to the side. Let's give him a little... Be nice at first, and when that fails, I'll bite out his tongue. The Vizier pauses for a moment, considering your words. You can actually hear him grinding his teeth. Ooh. Finally, he sniffs and walks away without a word. But not before giving you an approving nod. All right. Key turns his attention back to the prisoner. You said that you were looking for something down here. What is it? An artifact, she says, squirming beneath Key's gaze. Mother's been discussing it with the Gangrel professor for months, and Lang believed it was cached somewhere beneath Parliament Hill. When the Sabbat were burned out of Montreal, something ancient and powerful fled here. Even its absence left a resonance. Mother believes whatever came here has left for the battlefields of the old war, of the old world, felt the pull of the beckoning, and left its relics in the deep to retrieve when it returns. Fade shakes his head. Nobody talking about their mother like that. Oh, nobody talking about their mother like they're supposed to know who she is can be good news. And what about a Gangrel professor? Does she think we're all mad? Some of us, surely, but not all of us. Mother, who do you mean? Probably her fucking sire, the chief of their Tremere. That's a dumb question. I wish I had like a few brain cells in this game. I volunteer. Key can make me squirm instead. An ancient vampires, and we're only learning about it now? Can I ask useful questions? A Gangrel professor. Surely there aren't many feral scholars running around Canada. Why not? Mother said his name is Beckett, the prisoner says. He seems to be quite the gentleman. I was rather taken with him. Key grabs the prisoner's attention back. You talked about your mother. Who do you mean? The prisoner seems shocked by the sheriff's question. You don't know who I am. I'm Daphne, first child of Prince Annabelle. Great! Fade groans. More royalty. Like we didn't have enough big egos bumping into each other down here in the dark. Ugh. Key's face twists with anger. You're telling me that Annabelle sent a coterie of Tremere to dig beneath Parliament without the permission of Prince Rundell? I told you before, Daphne says. I thought we had permission. Maybe you should clear this up with a seneschal. Oh, I intend to, Key says. He picks Daphne up off the floor and hands her to his retainers. Secure her, and make sure she isn't able to draw any of her own blood. We might need more answers from her if things go bad. What are we going to do, you ask? What we were ordered to, Key says. Purge the warlocks from the tunnels. In light of this new information, any who surrender will be immediately allowed to plead their case at the council, but any who resist will meet final death. Damn. Okay. I did not have this interaction the last time I played it. I think I killed Daphne, because I just got a big fight. We just charged in there. I don't think I sensed anything. Oh well, interesting. My hair is getting very long, my god. Key can also secure me. Hello, hello, Salem. Welcome, welcome. Mumbled incantations drift down the passageway, echoing off brick walls as Kashif examines the blood wards etched into the floor of the main tunnel. Daphne hadn't been much help. The prisoner was assisting with the ward's creations, but would not admit to any knowledge of how to remove them, even under Jordan's subtle manipulation of her psyche. You move through the pressed crowd, slowly working out your own nervous energy while getting a feeling of how the others are doing. From the back ranks of mortal mercenaries, you overhear a soldier praying. The plexiglass of his riot helmet does little to hide his words. Oh, to hide his wide, frightened eyes. He flexes a black-gloved hand over the butt of his rifle as he repeats a mantra. For a second, third, and fourth time, while his comrades steadfastly ignore him and keep their eyes on Key, ready to follow his instructions at a moment's notice. A name tag stitched onto the man's uniform declares him La Flamme. What an idiot, Fade says. He should spend more time prepping his gear and keeping alert. What are prayers going to do for him? Does he even understand where he is? I doubt God can get him out of this one. Salam malam. Oh dear. I approach the mercenary. This is your first raid with the crew, isn't it? This man's inexperienced is going to get his companions killed if he doesn't get his act together. I tell him as much. Oh yeah, because telling someone that they're freaking out always helps them to not freak out. Hey man, just calm down, it'll be okay. And then they were cured. Alright. I try to calm him down with conversation as we wait. It's not always gonna... That one might be the best. I ignore him. No, let's not ignore him. I try to calm him down with conversation. Why? Oh, God! Hey, man, I'm feeling a little depressed. Well, why don't you just cheer up? I'm cured! Shit! Don't need a therapist anymore after that one sentence. Yeah, right. The mercenary shakes his head and lowers his voice. I didn't have much choice in the matter. Sold my soul to your master after he saved my daughter. You blink. Did you hear him right? He isn't my master, and he isn't in the business of soliciting souls. Master, sheriff, different words with the same result. We're down here, staring down the barrel. You'll survive. I won't be so lucky. God stopped listening to my prayers. He takes a moment to breathe. I'm underground, fighting demons at the behest of devils. Soon I'll be even deeper, praying for my sins. The mercenary nearest the man makes a disgusted face and shifts away. You're making your comrades nervous, La Flamme. Maybe you should stop. What do you mean, you little girl? What does Key have to do with her? We may be more than human. We may be more than human, but we're not devils, La Flamme. I died once. You know how I came back? Oh, you know what I saw before I came back? Nothing. There is no God in heaven to hear your prayers, La Flamme. And when you're dead, the world will forget about your sins. Jesus Christ. I ask the other merc if... Alright. Let's ask about his girl. That seems to be the least bad answer that we have. You saved her, the merc says. From the demons. They had us underground. Dozens of us that they plucked off the streets like appetizers. The rituals, the sacrifice. Humans weren't enough for them, though. They went after their own kind next. Killed each other until the bodies were stacked so high you could wade through them. But demons don't die. They came back. Mangled bodies, twitching and churning like a carpet of red ants. Where was this? You ask. You think you have a good idea where La Flamme came from. Key had been involved in 2 of Ottawa's failed raids on Montreal's barbarous Sabbat cultists. Blood rituals like the one he's described fit perfectly with what Corliss taught you about the vampire cult and its grisly rites. They had whole caverns carved out under Montreal, he says, staring down the tunnel with haunted eyes. Stained dark brown, crusted with blood. It smelled like metal. Hard to breathe. The sheriff pulled me and my daughter out of the cages. The others ran for the exit, but I stayed with him. The demons ran for them and tore them to pieces, while we followed your master. So you survived by following Ki out of the tunnels, you say? Maybe that's a good instinct to stick to here. He pauses. Maybe you're right. Yeah. You can tell that he's trying to convince himself, but maybe that's the best you'll manage. Thank you, he says. For a devil, you're not half bad. The word mercenary, oh dear. After several minutes, the sewer goes quiet as Kashif's murmurings break off mid-chant, and he gets to his feet. Hands on shaky knees. I've lessened the magic's effects, but even now it will be a risk for every kindred who marches over it, and I fear there is at least one additional ward further down the tunnel. The only advantage we have is that the magic are tuned to Canaanites. They won't harm our mortal companions. The sheriff cracks his knuckles, barely suppressing his irritation. We've wasted too much time here. We need to figure out a way around. If the intruders can take us out before the fighting starts, they'll be able to mop up our mercs in the north without much of a problem. He turns to Bouchard. Do you know another way into this branch of the sewers, one that the kindred might not know about? The sewer rat makes a show of pondering for a moment. I know of one. It's cramped, but we could make it through if we go in one by one. So they can pick us off at a choke point, Kashif says with a sniff. Absurd. You have a better idea? Luca asks. The vizier goes quiet. The tunnel it is, then, Bouchard says. He doesn't seem happy at all about it, but you can tell that the idea of pressing forward through the main tunnels makes him anxious. Blood sorcery wards can be deadly to even the most ancient kindred, especially if the affected vampire is ambushed as they are writhing in agony. Ki speaks to the contingent of his mercenaries and sends them down the original path, and then joins the rest of you to take the alternative route, along with a handful of remaining mortals. Along with a handful of the mortals, oh yes, running point. Hello? I think my D&D party's starting to send some pictures. Alright. Approaching the hidden tunnel. Dum dum dum. It doesn't take long for you to understand why Bouchard's hidden tunnel has remained a secret until now. Not only does the cramped passage wind its way this way and that as if it were laid in the earth by a drunk with no understanding of water runoff or efficiency, but the ceiling is so low that you need to crouch into almost a sitting position to move forward, all but crawling through a wet, moldy layer of slime. This is fucking disgusting. Only the sharp, artificial light of LED lamps on the mercenaries' helmets hold total darkness at bay. Their constant bobbing and shifting playing havoc with the jittery shadows of the two ghoulish Nosferatu ahead of you. Fade's mood grows worse by the minute, but luckily you're the only one who can hear his tirade against the Nosferatu in their tunnels, filled with filth. In all honesty, your feelings on the matter aren't much different, but unlike Fade, you are required to hold your tongue and keep your thoughts to yourself. You just count yourself lucky that you don't have to breathe. The mortals among your party must be seriously reconsidering their life choices. Jordan stops ahead, and you can hear a whisper passing its way back from person to person. Almost out. Larger room ahead. Stay quiet. Move slowly. You pass the word on to Luca, and continue to shuffle until you feel the ceiling blissfully ascend. Finally, you can walk upright again. It's hard to keep from gasping an audible groan of relief. We're here. Bouchard gurgles. Just west of the rooms beneath Parliament. Sewage runs in rivulets down the crags of Key's face as he commands his mercenaries with frenzy hand gestures into some semblance of order. Gasps and groans of relief. Oh! In a matter of minutes, the hunting party is ready to march into battle. They'll know we're coming by now, the sheriff warns. Their gifts might not let them read the future, but they can sense which way the winds are blowing. Be ready for anything. This is it, Fade says. He's looking unusually stoic. Something big's waiting for us ahead. I can feel it. I charge in just behind the mercenaries. After spending so much time in the cramped sewer pipe, I'm ready to take out my aggression on the first fucker I see. I stay up front along the mortals in interest of keeping carnage limited as possible. We need answers. Answers we'll never get if we slaughter them all. That's probably a little more logical. Stay alongside the kindred, letting the mercenaries pave the way. I stay to the rear and watch how the events progress. It doesn't need to be a slaughter. By staying in the middle, I can keep the kindred in check. No. I think 1 or 2. I'm tempted to go with 1, because we did say we're playing unhinged here, right? 2? Yeah, 2 is much more sensible, Lydia. Sorry, our brain cells are in another game. Unhinged always. Maybe I should go with 2. It is staying up front, which is the most unhinged option, but it is also maybe giving us a little bit more of the story, hopefully. I'd like more of the story. As much as you'd love to get this over with, as quick as possible. Yes, we die like men. Let's do it. As much as you'd love to get this over with as soon as possible, to be rid of these slimy back tunnels and never visit them again, you need to be careful and take your time. While you wish to be up front and ready for action, you're not there to slaughter anyone that would leave you... for a slaughter that would leave you with questions almost impossible to answer. You will finish your enemies if you must, but you're equally determined to keep some kindred from meeting an unnecessary final death. They need to be questioned. Useful information is worth more in the long run than a stack of your enemy's rotting corpses. I don't know, that can be kind of fun too, though. You join the mercenaries on the front line just before Key gives out the order to march. The mortals' breathing is regulated, muscles tense and ready to unleash a storm of lead at anything that makes an aggressive move. Waterproof boots march through brackish water, the sound of the advancing hunt once again silenced by virtue of Kashif Salak's secretive Benu Hakim sorcery. Bouchard has vanished from view, and a quick check reveals that the same can be said for his scouts. Looking back to where Key had been seconds ago, you're unsurprised to find that he is no longer visible either. Just me then. Fuck me, right? The tunnel twists to the left, and you're once again enshrouded in darkness. The ceiling's gratings left behind at the larger intersection. The ground slopes upward, a wide staircase worn by decades of erosion, causing the mercenaries' headlamps to bob unnervingly as they ascend to the upper landing. The ceiling is high here. Do sewers have stairs in them? What? I don't even know what sewers look like underneath. Some people picture them as this entire massive thing that you can walk in. It's a city, and I feel like that's just not realistic the whole time. I know that, the whole point of manholes is that you can climb down into them, but they can't be an entire underground city. Or I don't know. I feel like, for better or for worse, a lot of very unfortunate people would be living down there more than they do. Isn't Jock? He might be. I don't know. I think the London sewer's like that. I think it depends on the cities. Very large cities, I know Ghost... Was it Ghost? I think Ghostbusters made New York to seem like that. London, I wouldn't be surprised either. But every city can't have another city built underneath it. I don't know. I guess I just don't know enough about how cities are built, right? But that would require so much infrastructure and planning, and cities, as much as they'd like to be able to do that, I feel like most cities are not as well planned. They just kind of develop as they go. Oh well. Catacombs under pair. Yeah, those are something else though. Those are different. Big cities like DC would probably have an intricate system. Yeah. Very large cities, cities with a lot of money, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I've never been in a sewer. I've peeked down, like, you know how manholes usually have like a little hole in them. I've peeked down those before sometimes and seen like a little ladder, but it seems too otherworldly to have a whole city underneath your city. I don't know. Anyways. The ceiling is high here, and you're fairly certain that you're no longer in the sewer proper. More of an access channel to the world above. Maybe a treatment facility. That would make sense, too. Abandoned shelters from the war. Really? Interesting. Shit. Must be raining. What was that? Mercenary whispers to his squad captain. Permission to open fire. Hold. The captain grunts. I just saw it too. Just a rat. She pauses. Wait, why can I hear you? We weren't supposed to be... I knew it, Fade exclaims. They know we're here. He stands out in front of you, protectively, as if he's forgotten that his form is incorporeal. Bring it on. Thanks, Fade. Searing white brilliance bursts into being as 8 flood lamps bathe the tunnel in light so strong it reminds you of the sun. 3 figures stand on raised platforms ahead of you, their faces brought into stark relief by the abrupt illumination. Incorporeal. God, I fucked that word up. I won't ever be able to pronounce it correctly. Seeing it spelled out now. Corporeal, right? Corporeal. Incorporeal? Oh my god. That's it. GG's. Moving on. No, I can't do it anymore. As soon as I hear it, I'll be able to say it right until the next time I try to read it out loud. I should have just... Oh well, it's done. A stunningly beautiful woman in front sweeps her gaze over the front line mercenaries as they raise their weapons and pull the triggers. Somehow, her voice carries over the cacophonous ringing of a dozen rifles firing at once. Kill each other. Chaos descends like a hammer blow as the mercenaries turn against each other, close quarters all but necessitating the abandonment of their rifles as knives flash and sidearms bark in a deadly dance of blood and steel. 2 vampires flanking the speaker break off and descend from the platform, running towards you, brandishing gleaming ritual knives. Damn it. Luca growls as she shoves one of the mercenaries aside roughly before he can stab his captain in the back with a wicked serrated blade. Let's tear those assholes apart, Silas. Or Dex. Our Dex is maxed out. I take aim at the lead warlock with my Desert Eagle. It'll be difficult to shoot at this distance. But if I can land a hit, it might keep her from issuing further commands to the mercenaries. Composure, Resolve, or Stamina. I think those are our best stats. Composure. Oh, Resolve. Better. Dex. It wasn't Stamina, right? It was Dex. Alright. Might need to try that. I don't know what the slash is. Oh, Composure is not great. Our composure's not great. I changed my mind about wanting to be in the front. Guys, this got scary. I'm leaving. How is our intelligence that high? We're not the himbo that we were last time. That was last game that we were very stupid. Oh, it's just the choices the game gives you are dumb as hell. Yeah. Nice. I got it. Achievement unlocked. Must not have done that correctly last time. The lead warlock is standing on the platform. A dripping trail of blood snaking down her left arm. Ritual knife clenched hard in her right hand. You can't tell exactly what she's doing, but you're sure it's nothing good. You stare down the gun's sights and try to line up your shot as quickly as possible before you're attacked. Feeling confident, you pull the trigger once, check your aim, and fire again. The first bullet tears through her right shoulder. She staggers back, knife falling from startled fingers to clatter onto the brick below the platform, well out of reach. The second carves its way through her neck as she staggers and falls, clutching the wound while she mends. Great shooting, Silas! Fade whoops. You hear Luca cry out furiously to your right. She's battered from battle, but actually looks like she's getting the upper hand at the moment. How is she battered already? Took us like 3 seconds to aim and shoot, right? Huh? What? I run up to the platform and pull myself up. I need to finish the leader before she can work another devastating sorcery. Any warlock powerful enough to command the mercenaries all at once will be sure to know what the Tremere are doing down her. I run to the platform and secure her as a prisoner. I need to help Luca. My target is down for now. No, let's try to get her. Let's try to grab that beach. I agree, right? If she's the leader here, she'll probably know what the fuck is going on. Oh boy. You're sure that Luca will be able to take care of herself. Besides, none of these smaller skirmishes will matter if nobody takes down a vampire powerful enough to turn your mercenaries against each other in a matter of seconds. You dodge your way through the remaining mortals and pull yourself up onto the platform to face the warlock leader. You shouldn't have come after us, she says, flinging her long blonde hair out of her eyes. Somehow she's beautiful, despite the homicidal rage twisting her face. We would have left in peace with what we wanted. Our rightful return is imminent anyway. You're hunting us over a formality. Don't listen to her, Silas. Unless you want to be eating out of her hand like those mercs, Fade warns. You avert your eyes from her and try to stop listening, focusing on the sounds of battle, the rasps of the dying, the clash of blades, and the report of sidearms. Kindred like this can make you believe anything they want if you listen to their poisonous words, and the time for listening has passed. You won't be able to trust her until she's interrogated by someone with the proper skills and know-how to counter her mental control. That just ups the appeal. Gorgeous, dangerous woman. Fine, then, she hisses, pulling out what looks like a flare gun from beneath her robes. It gleams in the floodlight's brilliance as she fires on you. Do we not get a chance to dodge? Huh? Really? You throw yourself to the side at the last second, the shot whistling past your ear, to embed in the wall with a hiss of igniting sparks. Give me just 1 second. My fucking dryer keeps beeping at me. So I gotta start it again because it takes 2 full cycles to fucking dry anything. So I will be right back again. All right. Quick, let's be not. Oh, I am back. Yeah, too late, D. I saw that. A spike of irrational terror pierces your conscious thoughts. Oh, did I not read the whole thing? You throw yourself to the side at the last second, the shot whistling past your ears, embedded in the wall with a ignition of sparks that chars the red brick black with heat. A spike of irrational terror pierces your conscious thoughts. Your attention shifts back to the warlock leader. She's retreated to the back of the platform, but she's already fishing for a second weapon. You can't give her another chance to attack. You duck low and rush at her, weaving left and right as you close the distance before tackling her and ripping the oversized firearm from her grasp. Avoiding her gaze, is this like fucking Medusa or something? What? Oh, bye-bye, Salem. Yes, you should probably honk, shoo, me. Sleep well. I love that. Honk, shoo, me. Avoiding her gaze, you strike down at her face with the butt of a gun, again and again, stopping only when the fight leaves her and she goes limp, disabled but not destroyed. If you still want to be able to question her, you should only take the assault so far. You nearly attack Key when he appears above you, brandishing a long dagger. We have to take her head, he says. I've seen Kindred come back from worse than this. Wait, man, you say, holding out an arm protectively over the warlock's body. We need to know why she's down here. We'll never know what happened if you destroy her. The sheriff hesitates, considers your words, and pulls his dagger away from the woman's neck. This is a mistake, but I trust your judgment, he says. He cuffs the warlock's hands behind her back and attaches them to a chain. Why? Cuffing her hands? Really? You're not just gonna stake her through the fucking heart, man. That pins them guaranteed. What? What kind of a vampire hunter are you if you carry around handcuffs that they can break and not just a lot of little tiny wooden stakes to fucking paralyze them? What? Key. When she breaks out of those, this is your fault and not mine. You help him pull her unmoving body towards the wall, where he locks the chain tight around the platform's support beam. Can't ask questions though. Yeah, but we'll just take out the stake, right? It's like a tranquilizer. Just put it in there, wait till you're done, and then pull it out. Are they leaving her? Yeah! Yeah, we're not questioning her right now. I think the fight's still going on. So, like, just stake her, wait till the fight's done, unstake her. You can remove a stake. Oh, well, whatever. So when she leaves, it's Key's fault, not mine. Oh, well. Come, Key says, walking to the edge of the platform. There's more work to be done. You didn't realize they were leaving. Yeah. Little stupid. Oh, well. You follow Key and leap down to the floor, nearly stumbling over the bodies of two mortal mercenaries. You hear Luca cry out ferociously to your right. She's engaged in a battle with a man twice her size. You rush in to help Luca with no second thoughts as you collide with the brutish vampire attacking her. His flesh is unyielding, hard like stone, and the impact leaves your head ringing and your vision cloudy and dazed. As he shifts his attention to you, Luca darts around behind him, firing 3 bullets point blank into his back. The brute groans with pain and bats you with his fist, trying to drive you away. The same way one might shoo a fly. In the back of your mind, you feel Fade trying to decide if this is the right time for a Hulk smash joke. You roll with the attack, leaning away from it into the side as it brushes past your cheek harmlessly. Grabbing his wrist, you use his momentum to keep him moving forward while Luca continues her assault from behind. The 3 of you collide with a small group of mercenaries, knocking the mortals to the floor as they fire their rifles wildly into the raging beast of a vampire. When he turns and smashes a mercenary's head in, you draw your own gun, all but forgotten in the chaos, and jam it into the thick cords of his neck. Rest in peace, mercenary. One shot and he recoils. The next produces a whimper of pain. And then Luca is on him, driving twin knives into his eyes. This is getting, like, really descriptive, twisting them with a grim ferocity you haven't seen in her since the raid on Ward's warehouse. What about the church? She definitely had a ferocity there. You push the creature's twisting body away, and it slumps to the floor just in time to reveal 2 new threats rushing towards you. I'll take the one on the right, Luca says, before sprinting off in her quarry's direction. The remaining attacker, a man in a dark, red-spattered coat, barrels into you, knocking you to the floor. You pick yourself up, squaring your opponent before he can charge again. Definitely a vampire. No way to know the clan, but clearly allied with the intruders. He claws a rifle from a dead mercenary at his feet and raises it in your direction. I duck out of the fight. No, come on, I quick draw my Desert Eagle. Cap him right in the fucking face, right? This is literally the same stats that we did before and they worked before, so why not? Your hand shoots to the holster at your waist, drawing your gun with incredible speed and bringing it to bear before your opponent can fire. You pull the trigger, grinning as the shot hits his upper chest, causing him to fall back and nearly drop his rifle. You fire again, once, twice, 3 times, until the piercing chamber of your gunfire blurs with the wild chaos around you. Finally, the massive vampire. It's another massive vampire? He didn't mention that. He just said he was wearing a coat. A creature. It's high. Oh boy, fucking Overwatch. Been a long time since I played that. Finally, the massive vampire slumps to the ground, shirt littered with holes from his wounds. You inch toward him carefully, fully aware that sometimes it takes a lot more to fell a vampire that strong with the blood. No response. You kick the rifle out of his hands, and he doesn't so much as twitch. Your aim had been dead on. He hasn't met final death, but he's out of the fight for good. Another one to interrogate. Good, we've got a lot of them then. Hey, Silas! From further down the tunnel, across a thin carpet of dead and dying mercenaries, Jordan is waving to you. You think he's trying to tell you something, but you can't quite make it out. Your ears are ringing after several minutes of sustained exposure to gunfire in a tightly enclosed environment. If you were mortal, you might have been worried about permanent hearing loss. I can barely hear myself think, Fade says. And that's saying something. You trudge towards him, watching for an attack that never comes. Is it over? So quickly? It takes a moment to focus on the larger picture. The Tremere who resisted the hunt have met final death. You can count at least 5 of them, bodies standing apart from those of the mortals by their advanced state of decay. None of the mercenaries in the room are alive. You step over a familiar-looking body and kneel down to check the face. It's LaFlamme, the mercenary you'd spoken to before the fighting started. You suppose he was right after all. He didn't make it out alive. Odd. His left hand is stuffed into a pouch, strapped into his belt. The fingers have gone limp, but they're holding a crumpled piece of paper. On a whim that will break your heart, you kneel down and pick it up to examine it. It's a photo of a teenager. A girl, maybe 17 years old, with short hair and an impish smile. LaFlamme said that Key had saved her from Sabbat vampires, but you swear you've seen that face somewhere before, and she certainly didn't number among the mercenaries. You flip the picture over. On the back, the message is written in permanent marker. I miss you, Dad. Signed, Heather. It's very interesting that we recognize her face. Is she a vampire, then? I don't think we've interacted with any other mortals. Jordan stands alone atop the platform. Morning, Carrie. Hello, hello. Atop the platform where the warlock leader had stood. 2 of them ran away. Key and Luca went after them. Bouchard's wounded. It's a whole chunk of our past we don't remember. True. Had to retreat with one of his underlings. He waves you on. Come on, we have to catch up. What a clusterfuck, Fade says. So much for Key's strategic genius. You okay? Not wounded? Did any of the mercenaries survive? Were they able to snap out whatever was done to them? Have you seen Kashif? You didn't mention him. So we could have seen her during our turning. Maybe, yeah. I know, I feel like if they mention her, though, she's probably a part of the game, right? It'd be strange to mention her and have her not be. I'm only going to play just a little bit more, because I feel my voice getting a little scratchy. I gotta get hydrated before D&D, and I have an audio to upload very soon. Sorry, Jordan, I don't care about you that much. I'm trying to bang the other one. Did any of the mercenaries survive, or have you seen Kashif? Let's check Kashif, right? Why not? Is he okay? You mentioned everybody else. Jordan shakes his head. I don't think I saw him in any of the fighting. Kinda conspicuous, now that I think of it. Maybe he got ahead and he's with the Key and Luca. He jumps down from the platform and joins you. The sewer tunnel, yeah, the gorgeous lady in leather, right, exactly. The sewer tunnel behind the platform has been partially demolished. Its walls, picked and hacked at, chunks of stone masonry lining the floor on either side. At first, you think it must have been the side effect of some epic battle that raged through the corridor, but then you notice the drills and construction tools. What were they digging for here? I'm on the hunt for a mouse pouch. Has one appeared? Yes, he's gone back to bed, I'm afraid. Nest of the Raven. Alright, bye-bye. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, Mouse has gone back to bed. The other little Mr. Man is bundled up next to me. Something they thought was walled off, Jordan offers. Don't know. Looks like they didn't find anything, though. For all we know, they found exactly what they were looking for, Fade says. No way of knowing, unless there's a serious interrogation after this is all over. The passage cuts to the right, revealing a splintered wooden door smashed open on the far wall. Inside, Key paces furiously as he argues with Luca. One of Bouchard's retinue of sewer rats stands quietly in the corridor, clearly uncomfortable and feeling out of place without her coterie. When the sheriff notices you approaching, he sighs in relief, his back straightening, as if a heavy weight had been removed from his shoulders. There's the hero of the day, Fade says. I was starting to think we were the only ones left, the sheriff says. Glad the two of you made it out of that death trap. He gestures at a circle scorched deep into the wood floor. One of the fugitives we followed stepped on this and disappeared. We'll head back and round up the ones who weren't destroyed for questioning. He cranes his neck to look at you and Jordan. Is Kashif there? There's something I need to ask him. He's not with you? Jordan asks. He shakes his head. Shit. Either he got himself destroyed or... He cuts himself off. We'll find out soon enough when we tally up the damage done out there. Alright, another 5 minutes tops. Maybe I'll just finish this page. And that'll be it. Daphne is sitting sullenly on a small metal chair in the opposite corner of the room. She's recovered some of her haughtiness since the interrogation. Looking at her now, you have little doubt that she really is the privileged child of the Prince of Quebec City, as she claims. The captured coterie leader is still in chains, closely guarded by one of Key's ghouls. Interrogate me, Fade. Oh dear. A ripped piece of cloth binds her mouth to keep her from uttering any further commands. Oh, the captured coterie leader. Good. We did get her. Sweet, okay. To keep her from uttering any further commands and setting what few mercenaries remain against each other. She glares at Daphne with barely disguised hatred. Does she think the girl cut a deal? If you know Key, you'd bet he's playing them against each other on purpose. We need to move before it's too late. A familiar voice says from the other side. I was reading ahead. From the other side of the room. You step inside, and while you're not entirely surprised to find Heinrich Lang was discovered among his fellow Tremere, the fact that he's stripped naked and shackled to the wall is rather shocking. Deep wounds score the Primogen's arms, chest, and legs, seeping sluggishly in twisted rivulets of vitae snaking downward, collecting into a small trough at his feet. Kinky, or less kinky. An open box on the table beside him contains several vials filled with a dark red liquid. Doesn't take an active imagination to realize what has been going on. You have to listen to what I'm saying, James. Lang insists, pulling at his restraints. You're not seeing the bigger picture. James, Fade wonders. That's interesting. You know to not call me that, Heinrich. Key growls, palming a thick wooden stake. Another word and this goes right through your heart. Dum dum dum. Anyways, I gotta stop there. This is very interesting. I'm getting so much plot that I didn't get before. Before, when I played, I really just did Key Dating Simulator. I didn't get any of this, so I have no idea what we're headed into or what is about to happen.